Imagine stepping outside on what seems like an ordinary summer afternoon. The air is warm, children are playing in the distance, cars move quietly down the street. Nothing feels unusual. Then someone looks up. The bright blue sky has started to change. At first, it's only a faint tint, almost impossible to notice, but within minutes, the color spreads across the clouds like ink in water. Blue fades into an eerie emerald glow. Shadows become strangely dark. Buildings, trees, even people's faces are bathed in an unnatural green light. Phones come out instantly. Videos begin appearing online. Some people laugh, convinced it's a strange sunset. Others whisper that it feels like the end of the world. Then the sirens begin. For centuries, people have feared the moment when the sky turns green. Ancient civilizations saw it as a message from angry gods. Today, social media fills with theories ranging from secret government experiments to alien invasions. Every time it happens, millions of people ask the same question. Why would the sky ever become green? The answer is far stranger and far more dangerous than most people realize. Because a green sky isn't simply a beautiful optical illusion. Sometimes, it's nature's final warning. Before we uncover the science, let's travel back to one of the most unforgettable afternoons in modern American history. On May 22, 2011, the city of Joplin, Missouri looked completely normal. Families were finishing lunch after church. Stores were busy. High school graduation ceremonies had just ended. The weather forecast mentioned thunderstorms, but thunderstorms were common. Few people gave it much thought. Around mid-afternoon, the atmosphere began to change. The wind became strangely calm. The air felt heavy. Birds disappeared. Then people noticed something impossible. The entire western sky slowly turned green. Not gray, not black, green. Residents later described the scene as surreal. It was as if someone had placed a giant green filter over the entire world. Streetlights switched on in the middle of the day. Cars drove with their headlights on. Everything looked wrong. Many people stopped what they were doing just to stare. Some took photographs. Others posted online, asking if anyone else was seeing the same thing. Few realized that the strange color wasn't the real danger. Less than half an hour later, one of the deadliest tornadoes in American history tore directly through the city. The tornado reached EF5 strength, with winds exceeding 200 miles per hour. Entire neighborhoods vanished. Hospitals were destroyed, schools collapsed, cars were thrown like toys. By the time the storm ended, 161 people had lost their lives, and more than 1,000 were injured. To survivors, one image remained unforgettable. Not the tornado itself, but the sky before it arrived. Since then, countless people have associated green skies with disaster, and Joplin wasn't the only place. In 1999, residents across Oklahoma watched the sky transform into an unsettling emerald color before another massive tornado outbreak. In 2007, people across Kansas reported an almost glowing green atmosphere just before giant hailstones began smashing windows and roofs. In 2022, videos from South Dakota spread rapidly across social media after an entire town appeared to be covered beneath a bright green dome of clouds. Millions watched the footage online, wondering whether the videos had been edited. They hadn't. The sky really looked like that, and it wasn't even limited to the United States. Similar reports have appeared in Canada, Australia, Argentina, parts of Europe. Even regions of China have occasionally reported unusual green-tinted skies before severe storms. Every time, the internet reacts in almost exactly the same way. Some people joke that aliens have arrived. Others compare it to scenes from science fiction movies. Conspiracy theories spread within minutes. People wonder if it's pollution, chemical spills, secret military experiments, a portal opening somewhere above the clouds. It's understandable. After all, our brains aren't used to seeing a green sky. The human mind constantly compares what it sees against previous experience. Blue skies feel safe. Gray skies suggest rain. Orange skies remind us of sunsets. But green? Green skies feel fundamentally wrong. Psychologists sometimes describe this reaction as a violation of expectation. When something familiar suddenly appears in an impossible color, our brains immediately assume that something is seriously wrong. The same reason blue bananas or black milk seem disturbing. It's not because they're dangerous, it's because they don't fit our mental model of reality. A green sky creates exactly that feeling, but on an enormous scale. Instead of one object looking unusual, the entire world suddenly seems different. And throughout history, people naturally searched for explanations. Long before meteorologists studied thunderstorms, ancient cultures often viewed strange skies as messages from the heavens. In medieval Europe, unusual colors appearing in the sky were sometimes recorded as warnings before wars, famines, or disease outbreaks. Chroniclers frequently described blood-red sunsets, strange halos around the moon, and occasionally greenish clouds that were interpreted as divine signs. Across different civilizations, unexpected colors in the sky almost always carried symbolic meaning. In ancient China, astronomers carefully documented unusual celestial events because they were believed to reflect the balance between heaven and the emperor's rule. Changes in the sky could be interpreted as warnings that major political or natural disasters were approaching. Among some Native American traditions, violent storms were seen as living spiritual forces crossing the land. An unusually colored sky meant those forces had become especially powerful. Even sailors developed their own beliefs. Generations before weather satellites existed, experienced sailors learned to watch the sky carefully. While they didn't always understand the science, they knew unusual colors often meant rapidly changing weather. Survival depended on recognizing those signs. In a way, they weren't entirely wrong. Because although green skies aren't supernatural, they often do appear before some of Earth's most violent storms. That connection has made them one of nature's most misunderstood warning signs. Today, professional storm chasers actually become excited when they notice the atmosphere beginning to take on that strange green tint. While everyone else is driving away, they're driving toward it. Why? Because to them, a green sky can mean they've found something extraordinary. Not aliens, not magic, but one of the rarest and most powerful weather systems on Earth. The kind capable of producing baseball-sized hail, destructive tornadoes, and lightning visible from hundreds of miles away. But here's the mystery. If clouds are made of tiny water droplets, why would they ever turn the sky green? The answer begins 150 million kilometers away, with the sun. Sunlight may look white, but it's actually made up of every visible color. As sunlight enters Earth's atmosphere, it collides with tiny molecules of nitrogen and oxygen. These molecules scatter the shorter blue wavelengths much more efficiently than the longer red ones. That's why, on a clear afternoon, the sky appears blue. It's a phenomenon known as Rayleigh scattering, and without it, the sky above us would look almost black. But during a powerful thunderstorm, the atmosphere changes dramatically. Instead of passing through mostly clear air, sunlight now has to travel through enormous towers of dense clouds packed with water droplets, ice crystals, and sometimes millions of giant hailstones. These storm clouds are unlike ordinary rain clouds. A typical rain cloud might be a few thousand feet tall. The strongest supercell thunderstorms can stretch more than 50,000 feet into the sky, high enough to reach the edge of the stratosphere. Inside them, powerful updrafts lift rain, ice, and hail upward again and again, creating a chaotic three-dimensional maze for sunlight. Every collision changes the light a little more. Most of the red and yellow wavelengths are absorbed or scattered away before they can reach the ground. The remaining blue light mixes with light, passing through the thick curtain of water and ice. Under just the right conditions, our eyes interpret the mixture as green. It's not that the clouds are actually green, the light reaching your eyes is. Think of shining a flashlight through colored glass. The flashlight hasn't changed. Only the light reaching you has. The atmosphere during a severe thunderstorm acts like an enormous natural filter. But here's the fascinating part. Scientists still can't predict exactly when the sky will turn green. Despite decades of research, there isn't a single formula that guarantees it. Several ingredients seem to matter. The storm must usually be extremely tall. The cloud must contain a tremendous amount of water or large hail. The sun often needs to be relatively low in the sky, such as during late afternoon or early evening. And your viewing angle also matters. Move just a few miles away, and someone else may see an ordinary gray storm while you see an emerald sky. Nature rarely follows perfect rules. That's one reason green skies remain so mysterious. But there is another reason people associate them with danger. Because many of the storms capable of producing a green sky are also capable of producing giant hail. Storm chasers have noticed this pattern for decades. If they see an unusually vivid green tint, many immediately prepare for severe hail. Some hailstones have grown as large as grapefruits. Others have reached nearly the size of volleyballs. Imagine blocks of ice weighing over a kilogram falling from the sky at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. They can shatter windshields, punch holes through roofs, destroy crops within minutes, even seriously injure anyone caught outside. In many cases, the hail arrives before the tornado. So while people are busy photographing the beautiful green sky, they may already be standing beneath one of the most dangerous parts of the storm. This leads to one of the biggest misconceptions on the internet. Does a green sky always mean a tornado is coming? The answer is no. Many green skies never produce a tornado, and many tornadoes form beneath completely gray or black clouds. Meteorologists are careful not to use sky color alone as a warning sign. Instead, they rely on Doppler radar, wind measurements, satellite observations, and atmospheric data to determine whether a tornado is actually developing. The green color is best understood as a clue, not a guarantee. A clue that the storm overhead may be unusually intense. That distinction matters because assuming every green sky means a tornado can create unnecessary panic. But ignoring one completely can be even more dangerous. If local weather warnings are issued, the color of the sky becomes much less important. The safest response is always the same. Go indoors. Move to the lowest level of a sturdy building. Stay away from windows. Wait for official updates. It may sound simple, but these actions have saved countless lives. The problem is that many people do the exact opposite. When the sky changes color, curiosity takes over. They step outside, they grab their phones, they begin recording. In the age of social media, dramatic weather spreads faster than ever before. Within minutes, videos of green skies appear across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Reddit. Millions of people watch from the safety of their homes. But the person holding the camera may only have a few minutes before conditions become life-threatening. Storm chasers often remind viewers of an important difference. They spend years studying meteorology. They monitor live radar every second. They understand escape routes and storm motion. Even then, they treat every supercell with enormous respect. For everyone else, the safest place is never underneath the storm. It's inside. The strange thing is that the green sky has become something much bigger than a weather phenomenon. It has become part of popular culture. Movies often use green skies to signal that something supernatural is about to happen. Video games use them before major battles. Television shows use green lighting to create feelings of unease. Filmmakers understand something psychologists have known for years. Green isn't normally associated with the sky. So when we see it overhead, our brains immediately sense that reality itself has become unstable. Perhaps that's why the videos go viral. Deep down, we're witnessing something our ancestors would have interpreted as a message from the heavens. Only today, we understand a little more about what's really happening. Not magic, not aliens, not the end of the world, just physics, performing one of its most spectacular illusions. Yet even with all our satellites, weather models, and scientific knowledge, the atmosphere still manages to surprise us. Every year, somewhere on Earth, someone walks outside, looks up, and freezes. The sky has turned green. For a few unforgettable minutes, the world feels unfamiliar. The light changes, the air grows still, the silence becomes almost unsettling, and nature quietly reminds us that despite all of humanity's technology, there are still moments when the planet feels unimaginably powerful. So if you ever find yourself standing beneath a green sky, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Take shelter, pay attention to weather alerts, and remember that what you're seeing isn't a supernatural warning. It's something arguably even more remarkable, a rare moment when sunlight, water, ice, and the atmosphere align in exactly the right way to paint the sky a color it was never meant to be. A breathtaking display of physics that often appears just before nature reveals its full strength.